So the very first thing that you have to understand is that research operates on two levels. First is the conceptual plane, and the second one is the empirical plane. The conceptual plane is where we debate about theories, about the variables, about the existing knowledge. Here we basically talk about concepts like intelligence, burnout, motivation. You have different kinds of concepts from your subject. This is the area where we basically talk about this. So this is the conceptual. Now the problem relies, we as a researcher, we cannot directly use this concept. Like if I talk about intelligence, I cannot see intelligence, I cannot touch intelligence. Okay, so for that reason, we have to go through the empirical plane. And empirical plane, where the variables, measurements and data points exist, where researchers basically collect data and tries to create knowledge. But many researchers make mistakes in this scenario. I have observed many new researchers, they just select one concept. For example, to keep it simple, for example, we all know about burnout. For example, one researcher selects burnout and he or she directly study that burnout impact on well-being, mental wellness. Okay, so if he or she does that without any precaution or without any systematic way, then the research will be wrong, because we cannot directly use concept in our research. For that reason, we have to make a bridge, which in the visualization I have named draw the bridge, and this is termed as operationalization. Now operationalization is one of the most critical concept that you have to understand and learn, because without operationalization we cannot use or quantify any abstract concept. Like intelligence or academic aptitude is an abstract concept. How you are going to use that concept to collect data and reach out to a conclusion and close your research gap? So you have to understand this. And the next important thing is this simple but complicated equation. If you understand every element in this particular equation, you will complete your research very efficiently. Now let's understand this as simply as possible. First one is the outcome, which we can say that your DV. Now this model can be your statistical model, can be your mathematical model, it can be your conceptual model, theoretical model, whatever it is. You in order to reach out to a particular conclusion, you have to convert it to a statistical model. If you are working with a theoretical model, you have to convert it to the statistical model. If you are working with a conceptual model, you have to convert it to a statistical model. How can we convert it? We will understand it one by one. The next term is error. Now this error is a very complicated concept, but I will try to keep it as simple as possible. Suppose, for example, there is a counting machine and you have a bunch of documents and you are using that counting machine to count, to get a complete idea about how many documents you have. And as per the past record, suppose you thought that I will have 900 document, and the counting says that no, it is, for example, 898. So the error is 2. So this is the measurement error. Logically, if the error is small, means your findings are reliable. If the error is high, for example, it is 89, remove this 8. You thought that you have 900 document, but it is 89. That means it is problematic. Now we, in order to understand and implement this particular construct or the particular model, we have to understand this thing very clearly. Construct. What is a construct? As I have already discussed, that research has two planes. In the conceptual plane, we have different kinds of concepts like motivation, intelligence, burnout. Those are the constructs. Like theoretical concepts or attribute that we cannot directly measure, that we cannot directly use, because those are fuzzy. It can be anything. How you are going to use it, that is the main thing. Okay, and on the basis of that thing, you are going to make your theoretical implication, your managerial implication. And next coming the operationalization. See, for me, happiness is working or being productive. I don't like to take rest days. I take rest days when I am not able to do anything or I am just staring at a computer. For you, happiness can be anything. For another person, happiness can be anything. So that is why I said that happiness or the concepts from your subjectual domain is a fuzzy set. It can be anything. In order to make precise outcome, you have to operationalize it. Now, operationalization is nothing but how you are going to use this particular concept. For example, happiness. How you are going to use it? For that, if you are from social science background, you will notice that many studies are using some pre-established questionnaires by giving the citation of that any papers from which they are using this. Like the questions. For example, from paper X, I have found that happiness has 4 concepts, 4 variables or indicators. So I have operationalized this happiness on the basis of these 4 parts. Why I have selected these 4? The citation is that. In case you have no idea how you are going to operationalize, then you have to use the qualitative method like thematic analysis. First you have to conduct your focus group or in-depth interview, then thematic or content. Then you have to identify the construct, their variables, and then you are going to operationalize it. After that, the quantitative study. So this is the whole aspect. If you are from science background, I hope the same operationalization concept applies into your domain as well. Now, in order to have clear idea about construct, we have to understand the type of construct. Basically, constructs are 2 types, unidimensional and multidimensional. Unidimensional means there is only one particular concept that leads to a effect. That is unidimensional. Just read the definition. It consists of a single underlying dimension or factor. All indicators represent the same core attribute. If I consider this as happiness, continuation of the previous example, then these are the variables of happiness, or I can say that indicators of happiness which has the same attribute. If I remove this indicator, it will remain the same thing. Now, how we measure this thing? We are measured this on a single scale, low to high, etc. Some examples like physical attribute, height, weight, psychological traits like self-esteem, etc. And the indicators are basically the reflective construct. Now, what is reflective construct? Suppose happiness. This is happiness. Just look at the pointer of arrows. These are the pointing towards the indicator. Means happiness is reflecting these things. Okay, so these are the reflecting indicators. Keep this thing in mind. Reflective model. Is it unidimensional? Is it multidimensional? You should have a clear idea about these things. Next type. Now, this is the next type of construct, which is the multidimensional construct. Now, in case of multidimensional, suppose let's understand this with the help of this particular diagram. Suppose this is mental well-being. Okay, suppose this is mental well-being and this is happiness. This is suppose productivity, and this is suppose monetary benefits. Okay, now, and these are the indicators or variables. Now look at the thing. First we had our reflective model as an unidimensional. Now if I consider happiness only, so this will be our unidimensional, which is and if we consider these 3 things which is forming this higher order construct or concept, then we are going to call this as a formative model. How can you understand which is formative, which is reflective? Just look at the pointers. Like it is pointing to a higher order construct. And multidimensional means when we have multiple amount of construct which is forming an higher order construct. Read the example, you will understand. Academic aptitude such as verbal, mathematical, quality of life that involves physical, emotional, social benefit, intelligence, reasoning and memory. Now, this is a difference between formative and reflective construct. Just pause the video and just give this a read. When you are reading this, just look at the pointer of the arrows and remember that unidimensional has only one particular construct or concept. Multidimensional has more than one concept, that is forming a new higher order construct or concept. Now, up to that point, it was all about conceptual plane, because research happens on two plane, on the basis of conceptual plane, and the next one is empirical plane. In the conceptual plane, we should have a clear idea about how we are going to operationalize everything, and in the empirical plane, we have to decide our variable, type of variable, how we are going to measure the variables with the help of type of scaling, etc. First, we have our discrete variable, continuous variable. These are very easy. I'm not going to discuss these things. Next, another basic thing in the empirical plane, after determining the type of variable, we have to determine our scaling. Next, if you are going to select your variable, then you have to select the variable on the basis of the available function or the role the variable is going to play. Like if whether it is going to be only independent and dependent variable, you all know what are these. If whether you are going to use any mediator to improve the relationship between the variables, whether you are going to use any moderators to see which variable is completely changing the relationship between independent and dependent variable. And the another one is confounder variable or the lurking variable, which is not related to your study, which is completely external to your study, but which has the potential to change the outcome of the study. When it creates a correlation between the independent variable, it becomes confounding variable. So keep this thing in mind. Next, very important concept, systematic and unsystematic variation. As a researcher, you observe the changes in variables due to your experiment. Now, every observation has two components. First is the true score, which is the systematic, and there is error, which is unsystematic. Now, what is true score? True score is the outcome of experimental manipulation. Like you are studying two group of students and you are giving feedback to one group and you are not giving feedback to another group. So you know which group will perform better. So this is a classic and simple examples. That is the true score. Next one is the unsystematic error, which is measurement error. As earlier, I just shared an example as the counting machine example. Just read this out. Measurement error resulting from random factors between entities or within the environment, like individual ability, motivation, prosperity to distraction, etc. So these are basically noise and distraction that hampers your experiment. The unsystematic error happens too much in social science research because the people are not always motivated or inclined to any kind of experiment or survey. So these are some measurement error. Just remember the previous example, 900 pages to 888. Suppose this one. And in the next type of in the next step, we should have a clear idea about the type of model that we are going to have. Whether we are going to have a descriptive model, diagnostic model, predictive model, explanatory model, or the perspective models. As the name suggests, descriptive model basically summarizes the characteristics and it generally focuses on answering what happened. Next comes the diagnostic model, which is concerned with understanding why did this happen. Here, researcher basically tries to uncover subtle patterns and anomalies. The next one is the predictive models, where the focus is to forecast or predict the future on the basis of existing data. The next model is explanatory or causal model, which seek to identify specific factors that play a causal role in the formation of a phenomena. So even before starting the idea of research, or even before starting your research process, finding research papers, you should have a clear idea about these three things: your conceptual plane, your empirical plane, and your statistical model. And after having and with the help of this understanding, you have to refine these three things as you are going to review different kinds of or available literature. So this is one of the significant reason behind doing your literature review. So you have your research idea. The next step, nobody tells you, you have to determine this core equation on the basis of you are going to conduct your research. First you have to determine your outcome, then you have to determine your model, which model, whether it is going to be statistical or mathematical model, or whether it is going to be your descriptive model, predictive model, whatever it is you are planning. And then you have to work on your conceptual plane so that you can operationalize your concepts of this study so that you can minimize the error, measurement error as much as possible. Now, whatever I have discussed in this video, I have created this particular study material, and if you want this study material, you can visit my Instagram broadcast channel and you can download this particular file from there.